Well, hello, and good morning. So, starting off more of these things here. So, a couple quick changes since last time. Got everybody updated to where they need to be. I went ahead and changed Field down, because despite the whole joke of, oh, he looks like a football player or something, I'm gonna give him a claw. I've been really liking this 1HK guardsman build lately. Simply because if you set them up with a counter in the front, true, they're not spreading around counter poisons or any of that, but just keeping TP down on stuff seems very useful. Plus, also, the whole tendency to crit a bit more often has a tendency to open up more counters for them. So, either way, just a bit of an idea there. So he's been changed. All these guys, I believe it only opened up last time, but all three of the fencers ended up getting their burst abilities. Which, if you're unfamiliar with those, the long and short of it is they are basically like an AoE little explosion-y thing. The best way I can think to describe it is if you've ever played Dark Souls and you had somebody come up and use that annoying, like, friggin' blow up in your face move. That. It's basically exactly that. So, alright. So, let's see, layout-wise, I know I'm gonna get kind of stuck in a bog in the center here. So I'm going to want Herald up in that mess. Actually, I probably want to bring Lady Style, not Herald. She's got a bit more heft to her, so we'll get probably Goal Getter and Sarah over here, so that we have some long-range options. Voltaire's going to sit this one out. Actually, no. Voltaire is actually going to take her place. I don't know why he's all the way back. Why is he all the way back there? Is he something different? No, he's just a regular old armor guy, so why are you not hanging out with the rest of your friggin' class here? That sounds weird. It's not that kind of class system, okay? Alright, so we move those guys over there, we move you over here, and we move you... What do we want here? I know I definitely don't want her. She's not going to be able to do anything on this map. Yeah, let's do those two. Alright. That should do pretty decently. Let's move you over here. Something like that. This will make sense in just a moment as far as the weird layout goes. Actually, this is one of those weird things that it always seemed odd to me that they have the option for setting up all these different formations and everything, but they don't give you any preview of the actual map. Like, again, probably one of my favorite things about KOL, because, well, hell, friggin' almost every portable version had some improvement on this. Like FFT had it, KOL had it, FFTA2 had it. Like, what was it on the GBA and DS that they figured out? Oh wait, if we're gonna have a formation menu, maybe it helps to let them know what they're actually preparing for. But yeah, no such thing. Actually, what probably would have been ideal is if, you know, there's actually a bunch of stuff that, this is going to seem strange, but that XCOM 2 did that would have worked so well for this one. Like, for example, if you had the option for, like, okay, you have a unit that's going to risk losing life or something, but they're going to be able to go get you scouting information on the map. Like, if they succeed, they give you scouting information on the map, and then you go in and you have your preview sitting there, and then if you don't, you know, then they end up just losing one of their hearts and... well, you know, bum deal. But yeah, I don't know. It would have been a cool way to do it, I think. Granted, there was already so much stuff going on here that hell, it could have been well in the bizarre Bible of design notes that they probably had. Also, it just occurred to me that I brought Felicia along. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. I keep thinking throughout this whole thing. I keep thinking like, oh yeah, no, I still have clerics. No, I don't. I don't have any monks in this party whatsoever. The only healer is, like, Little Miss Cleavage back there. So, there's that. Need to actually play like I remember what the actual rules of this challenge are. Man. I'm doing a whole bunch of different stuff lately. Like, general life confusion and kids and everything else aside, been doing, like, what was it, like 4 or 5 different challenge runs of different kinds lately. Yeah, it happens. It happens. You get all kinds of confused and muddled and stuff. Axemaster Canopus still doing his job up there. Now you... yeah, you haven't quite gotten it. You know what? Haze is going to be amazing this time. Let's go ahead and pop that sucker on there. As much as I wanted on those guys on the right, because they're probably really going to benefit, Canopus is going to be sitting here, and he hasn't gotten his Wapongo up yet. It's funny, like, up until he gets that thing up, he's got that whole little window where everything can go completely just wrong, pretty much completely for him. And yeah, no, it's all good now. Like, as soon as he gets the thing up, he's like, yeah, no, I just regenerate stuff now. I'm basically just one of them things from RE4. He's like taking a bunch of friggin' spears and arrows and crap, and he's just there like, no, check it out, I regrew my arm. So yeah, not going to be covering a lot of the story beats this time. I feel like that was covered in the last few runs, at least not until... yeah, let's go after the archers. At least not until we get to about the neutral split. At that point, it'll make more sense. Because yeah, everything up to the neutral split, I feel like I've kind of done to death here. So yeah, I won't be covering every single note unless it's something random that I forgot to mention or something. You know what, Lady Style? Why don't you go start working on this? No, wait, you do have a Zeiston. I'm mixed up which knight's which. Also, I can't really hear most of the music right now, but all I'm hearing in my head is the new friggin' XCOM soundtrack. So if you haven't heard about that, by the way, so basically XCOM 2, the latest one there, I had kind of like a free DLC thing of sorts, free for now anyway, and oh man, it is amazing. Like especially for the fact that it's friggin' free, it's really good actually. But anyway, so I'm just gonna have Canopus sit here and kind of assist the front for a little bit before going forward. Want to at least deal with a couple of their frontliners here before dealing with their healer. But yeah, it's kind of amazing. Just like out of nowhere, they're like, yeah, no, so we just farted out a bunch of new modes and a bunch of new story stuff and a bunch of new just everything, really. But the best part is this soundtrack, and I know that seems weird considering there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they added. But the soundtrack, just like the Tactical Legacy Pack, friggin' XCOM Remix, just look it up. It's just way better than it has any right to be. It's kind of like somebody took, did like an 80s metal synth kind of situation, and just took the old, like, back in... Oh. Well, fine, you play on that xylophone piano thing. But, like, took the old friggin'... Was it 80s or 90s when UFO Defense came out? I don't know. One of those. But they basically take most of that soundtrack and then make a bunch of stuff that sounds similar to it for modern stuff. And it's amazing! Like, especially, like the Interceptor one. I had a thing that I put up yesterday, the multiplayer thing that I put up, had that in the background, and yeah, it's way too good. Too good! Can't handle it. So yeah, can't stop hearing synth in my ears all the time now, which is definitely an improvement over everyday life, so that's good. Alright, so we're gonna try to just deal with these a-holes up in the front here. Yeah, with this one, I'm actually a little bit surprised how it's going. So I should mention at this point, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, today we're going with a kind of, technically experimental build of the mod, which had redone the scaling on armors and things like that. And yeah, in some cases the AI seems to be behaving differently as well, so I'm not sure what's the story there, but yeah, so far I don't really know exactly what's changed defense-wise and all that, but all I know is it feels real nice. It's like whatever changed, the flow of everything just somehow feels even better than it was before, so whatever that entails. Kiddo pretending to pretending to choke in the back. Yeah, that's always a fun one. If you ever have kids, like, if you ever see a kid choking and you see a bunch of parents around, like, not doing anything about it, it's not because they're douchebags, I'm telling you right now. It's because that kid likes to pretend to choke. and it's like at first it's horrifying because you know you're like going around and nobody else is around. You know, you're having your first day without the wife or something like that, and it's like, okay, you know, I don't want to screw anything up, don't want to, you know, have everything go wrong here. And then they just keep trying to choke. And you're thinking, like, are they actually choking? And you're picking them up and, like, patting them on the back and everything. And no, they're not choking. They're just there like, I choked that one time, everybody just immediately flocked around me. If I keep doing that all day, I wonder if I can get the same result. And they'll keep trying it over and over. And then if you actually go and, like, give them the attention they're craving for that one, they will do it more and more and more to the point where it's just constant. It's, it sucks when that happens. I saw that happen to a few people, and yeah, no. Also, that's friggin' adorable over there. They're like, yeah, let's go drop some meteors on Felicia. Friggin' 2 damage. Don't they know she's made of metal or some crap? I don't actually know what it is. I don't think Felicia even has any particularly beefy stats or anything. She's just somehow always really lucky. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe she actually does have a hidden luck bonus in the background. Actually, you know, to some degree, I'm convinced that there are some, you know, some unique characters or something that must have some kind of luck bonus or something. Because, you know, obviously, luck is a stat, we know that much, but it's apparently really unclear how it actually works. But yeah, some of them just seem freakishly lucky all the time for some reason. Alright, so, I'm gonna have Felicia moving in to go claim their healer up here. I think we're probably going to see Mace going down again. Bad such as life. I wish I could get a Berserk right here, but I can't just swing here. Yeah, there's no way to make that happen. So what I can do is just have him snack on a bit of a leaf here. Well, hello there, dog, with your squeaky toy. Squeaking away over here in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. Alright, you go for a bird hunt. Go for a bird hunt. There we go. It's actually funny. Let me double check this, but yeah, no, he's a Spellblade. It's notable that right now, as far as bird warriors and all that, you can't technically get those. But since they're still kind of just laying out there in terms of the party layouts and stuff like that, you do still see them around. So, we'll see those sometimes. Thing is, they're pretty similar, generally speaking, aside from maybe Mighty Strike sometimes. They, generally speaking, didn't really give them a lot of their cool stuff, like Double Strike and stuff like that. So, you know, that's nifty. Don't have to worry about that much, and yeah, he will continue missing. Definitely need to get an Alacrity over on Canopus as soon as possible, because he kind of... Well, it's also raining, I guess. So that's definitely not helping matters. But, yeah. Overall, relatively good stuff here. Again, all I really know about how this latest version changed things is apparently armor wasn't scaling to quite the same degree that weapons were, so kind of around later game, if I'm understanding correctly, around later game you started seeing more just, you know, armor wearing off in terms of usefulness, but it should be noted it never even slightly approached the vanilla levels of that. It just meant stuff like, for example, you went in with a two-hander or something, and there was actually the opportunity for somebody to get a one-shot as opposed to the normal way of doing things. So, you know, it was just skewed in favor of attackers sometimes. So that's, again, whatever it actually is that's corrected, it feels really good. So, whatever. I've been testing it in, like, late game, mid game, everything up till, like, beginning game here, which is obviously where we're at right here. So, so yeah, pretty much everywhere else it felt amazing. You know what, why don't you work on Recruit? If you didn't know, by the way, even if there's a 0% chance, if you have them use that skill, they'll still keep learning it. So if you have something like Recruit, it's pretty useful. It's pretty useful to just have them keep talking to random people like a nutjob. And or somebody that makes videos. Anyhow, nice of them to just line themselves up like this. Berserk is so good. It's just so good. Alright. So yeah, honestly, knights are kind of like the pawns of this game, if you think about it. It's like, once you get them to the end of the board, and you get them to, just... Actually, no, wait. Knights are just knights, then. They're just there cornering a unit in the corner of the board. It's actually funny, because this game was... well, the original of this was based off of seeing them play seeing some folks play a game of chess on TV, which is why, you know, we have all the tiles and everything else. But yeah, it's actually funny, because in the very original, the balancing kind of held up in that direction. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, I don't know how many people watching this are actually into chess. But, actually, you know what? I need some friggin' water. Get over here, water. Sounding like Garrus over here. Anyway, what was I getting at? Right, so chess. So, if you've never played chess, and, you know, I'm assuming a good number of people haven't, because it's kind of dropped in popularity and all that sort of thing, but I absolutely loved it. It's something that I played with my brother every day, you know, pretty much every day our routine was just going to the gym, going swimming, playing some chess. Does that sound hoity-toity as hell? Yes, I guarantee you we were absolutely broke. But, conveniently, there was like a Y right there, and there was a nice table to play chess on. Anyhow. So yeah, you know, he's the one that taught me, you know, we would go and play every day, and he would win almost every single time. But, you know, learned over time, got better, learned all of his tricks and strategies and all that sort of thing. But the thing to chess is, unlike checkers, which it gets compared to a fair bit, which, by the way, way to go AI, taking advantage of that kill with a shield. So unlike checkers, wherein you're basically required to, if there's a unit that can take another unit, you are required to make that move. The thing with chess, and the whole reason why you're not really required to do much of anything aside from move your king if it's in check, is that a lot of the time, both sides are just positioning. Like, as much as the whole joke goes like, oh yeah, somebody was just a pawn, they're actually one of the most important units. Like, especially if you go and watch tournaments and stuff like that, it's like, people spend a lot of time positioning their pawns and keeping their pawns safe, and most of the fancy units are just there to basically keep your pawn line moving. So you set them up in formations, and you set them up in guarding areas where it would be awkward for units to go without getting counterattacked, and like, there's a lot more positioning to it than it looks. So, either way, what was I getting at here? Oh yeah, so the original, like, SNES game kind of had that, I guess. It seemed like it was more of a visual thing, but, you know, you didn't necessarily always want to go and attack something, but it had that same problem that a lot of Matsuno stuff has, wherein, you know, pretty early on you end up noticing, like, okay, these unique characters are way, way better than everybody else. And so yeah, that kept happening. Actually, you know, that's a lot of, that's just a JRPG thing in general, though. I mean, it happens everywhere, of course, but, JRPGs especially seem to like doing that kind of thing, wherein they make somebody special for plot reasons, and then just never actually rein them back in. And or they rein them in too far, because, you know, they were nearly invincible, super godly when they were an enemy, and then suddenly they're just completely worthless as soon as you get them. There's a whole bunch of those. Actually, I think my favorite example is from Legend of Dragoon, this old PS1 game. And in it, there's this guy named Kongal. It's just basically this giant guy that shows up as a recurring boss. I think you fight him like three times. And so all times he's just this huge, friggin' unstoppable boss guy. To the point where the main character always finishes off every boss fight with this big dramatic thing where they just like run up and do like a jumping slash to their head. And so, so yeah, it seems like he's a friggin' super beast, and then you finally get him, and he's basically just on par with all the rest of your characters. This guy that took like half an hour of getting friggin' walloped in the face with all kinds of giant weapons. No, No, he's just slightly beefier than everybody else. It's actually especially funny because all the party members end up getting... Ooh, is that gonna hurt much? No. All the party members end up getting the ability to temporarily fly. It becomes more of a thing later, but it's just funny because it's this just massive beef wall, basically. Oh, okay, that exchange went poorly. Very poorly. And so he's just there slightly hovering off the ground. Everybody else is, like, flying and looking all stylish and everything. He's just there, like, an inch off the ground, like, yeah, I'm too heavy for this. Oh, it's great. Yeah, if you've never played LOTD, do so. It's really good. It's actually funny. The combo system that it used. I wish at some point somebody had gotten the idea to just take all that was good about Vagrant Story, take all that was good about LOTD, and put them into one thing, and it would probably end up looking... I have a feeling it would end up looking a hell of a lot like God Hand, except with an RPG. Just something like that. By the way, there we go. That's why those bursts are really good. They actually do a crapload, like especially against archers and things like that. But the idea is you just have a like a fencer or a dragoon or something run into a crowd, use that, and it's pretty hurty. Too much regret? Yeah. That's a pretty fair point at this point in the game. Like, yeah, why the hell did I save that guy? It's like, man, talk about an ungrateful douchebag, you know? Guy goes out of their friggin' way to try and help you out, and you're like, nah, they didn't genocide, so they're a bad guy now. Alright, so next up we got Ray Boom. I don't know how much time we have here, but whatever, we'll just keep on going. Now, it should be, once we get to Zaid Moore, that the crafting unlocks. That's actually what I really want to get for Field down here. Just because I want him to get a helmet, he's already got the light shield, and then just get a side grade 1 HK as soon as possible. So, I want him to just be maxed out for parry, pretty much. Alright, Alright, we'll do that. Let's get Herald. Yeah, Heralds. Let's get all the archers. And probably long-range refreshment wench. This is acceptable, I guess. Alright, you're gonna take the left side. You guys are just gonna kind of hang out back here. You're gonna go up here, and there we go. Sounds good. Yes. Yeah, Zapan's all super rapey in this route. Like, I think pretty much every mercenary character is pretty rapey towards Kashua in this route. But, I guess they want to go for that trope if everybody was like that back then. I mean, obviously, everybody was not completely like that back then, but it was sure as hell more common. But, that's why so many civilizations ended up going and setting up a bunch of rules for that sort of thing. A lot of them ended up establishing religions to kind of bar that kind of thing. Because it's almost like people definitely view you as a good guy and want to take your side if your people aren't going around doing deplorable things to people. You know, just maybe. Just a little maybe on that one. Right. Yeah, his accuracy is something to behold. I don't think he's actually hit anything in like 2 parts. Oh well, it's fine. He looks cool, and that's what matters. I'm gonna be trying out a lot more they look cool type of builds this time around. Let's go ahead and do this. Get the rage going. Actually, I think after this one, so there's a few runs I want to do. So I'm already testing that Poor Man challenge as far as I reasonably can. But after that, like after doing a live version of that one, what I want to do is actually do sort of like, I think it was called Blitz mode in chess, but the idea is just you never ever, you never stop. You have like 10 seconds to make a move, basically. So there's no running around checking stats, there's none of that, there's just like, you gotta make a move right now, kind of a thing. There we are. Now, I really like Bulwark on Fencers, or Earth on Fencers, just because of Bulwark. It's because it's a really good buff. It makes them all resilient to getting punched in the face and stabbed in the face and shot in the face. Just things that involve flying at their face in a harmful way. They're good at not having that happen to them. Alright. I think that should probably be an okay shot for you. You know, spraying water at that octopus in the water, that's gonna hurt him. It actually does a surprisingly good job of that. Alright. Yeah, let's go for Mr. Oh, crap, that's not what I meant to do at all. Actually, stuff's getting a little, on the noisy side over here. I might actually have to make it a twofer. Well, dang. I was hoping to do these all in one bit. You know what? One moment. Alright, and back for just a little bit, so it's gonna have to be cut off after this one. Also, I forgot to get that guy his 1 HK skill. That's a problem. Oh well. Gonna speed this up a little bit. Heavy axe is nice to have, though I don't think I have anyone that can take advantage of that at the moment. Now, one thing that got mentioned, that came up yesterday. Yeah, there is one thing that hasn't changed, and probably won't change, but if you have Phalanx, you can't actually use it until you have Rampart Aura. I just have it on these guys for convenience, because I plan to have it later, so I, might as well just have the skill slot used. But yeah, you can't use it without RA, just so you know. Because, yeah, that does get confusing sometimes. You never know what's confusing. Which, by the way, one thing I should probably mention about this octopus, you may be wondering why it is that I haven't actually gone and, had anyone really make much of an attempt to directly attack the thing. That's because it would just piss it off. You don't want to piss off an angry octopus. I mean, he's already kind of pissed off, I guess, if that's his title. But, point being, if you're using casters against it, can't build up TP. And TP is bad and scary, and you don't want it to have it, so you just do this. And, you know, then he doesn't build it up. Good stuff. Then you need to actually have somebody finish it, so then you can do that. And then you just went and poked it in the eye, and then it was all good. You pretty much fixed that problem right away. Alright, so, what else? She's slowed. Goal-getter. That conveniently finishes that guy off. Yeah, this party doesn't have any healing element to it, so don't need to worry too much as far as attrition goes. But alright, so let's have you over here. That sort of thing. Attempt to go for that 2%. You never know when it might happen. You never know. I actually had a 3% work the other day. I was just trying to get their recruit skill up. And they're like, yeah, no, 3%, we'll totally join. They just happen to remember one thing that they, you know, maybe both liked, a particular type of friggin' candy or something. I don't know. Who knows? There must have been some really, really random detail. And like, on the off chance, do you love the smell of coffee? And also happen to, maybe get some enjoyment out of petting dogs. And like, yes! I love both these things. Like, congratulations, you're a human being then. I don't know. Actually, speaking of... Hang on, wait. Speaking of, but I completely forgot what I was speaking of. Dang it, brain! Oh, do better. Something about the smell... Oh, yeah, right. So, let's talk Gatorade for a second. If you've ever seen... there's two types of disgusting, just abysmal diet Gatorade. You may have seen them trying to market it as G2, and then they try to market it as Zero, and boy, what was that? And then they tried some other one. Well, point being, the other day, we're going and we're getting ready for a little bit of a short road trip. So, we go to the store, and the wife ends up grabbing some Gatorade. And the Zero variety, ends up looking exactly like the regular one, except for a Zero thing in the label, which somebody had mixed them up when they were stocking them. You know, she didn't take a look, so ended up getting that thing. Oh, let me just say, oh, whoops. Sorry, Canopus, didn't mean to shoot you in the back of the head. It's actually kind of remarkable what they achieved, because they've created a type of Gatorade that actually makes you sick from drinking it. Like, I mean, like, legit, just... It was a pleasant... I don't even know how to describe this. Like, it was just an experience that can only be described as drinking burning plastic. Now, why do I say this? Because if you end up drinking the thing, apparently it's a sucralose in there, but, if you end up trying it, it's literally the smell that it brings to your nose is exactly what burning plastic smells like. If you ever accidentally melted plastic, like if you were making a model or something like that, it is the exact smell. Like, no questions, no, oh yeah, I can kind of see it. No, I mean, the exact smell is what gets brought to your face. I don't know why. I don't understand how that works. But it is disgusting. Like, that... It's like next level disgusting. I don't know how they did that. Because, yeah, ultimately I just took the entire pile, you know, brought them back to the store, and, like, you know, if anyone feels like trying this is literally undrinkable. Like, I'm okay with drinking some pretty nasty crap for the sake of convenience, and I get made fun of for it, but... no. That cannot be done. I tried. I tried to put that first bottle down just because I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to waste the money on it. Couldn't do it. It was the first time in quite a while that I actually couldn't put down any type of food or drink just because the thing was actually, like, it wasn't even making me feel sick. It was doing that plenty, but it was, like, actively making the day seem to suck. I don't know how you make a drink do that. Actually, if you've ever seen Better Off Ted, there was one scene that described it pretty darn well. Like, they give this guy some meat to try out. Like, what does it taste like? Like, this tastes familiar. This tastes like suffering. And it's exactly that. So, point being, never try it. It's really bad. This is probably gonna hit somebody of mine. Yeah, whatever. I figure they were reasonably protected anyway. Can I throw a rock? Will that accomplish anything? Not really. Why can't you walk in water? Yeah, I'm regretting putting that one guy in front of him right now. Alright, whatever. We're not gonna try to recruit her then. Instead she goes bye-bye, or not. She's just gonna survive it instead. Also, this is hilarious. Occasionally you see them have cutscenes when they're unconscious. They're like, hey, let's have a conversation. Alright, is this gonna be as convenient as I think it is? Aw, yeah. Aw, yeah! That just happened. Get smacked in the face anyway. I just love to do that. I don't know why. Kind of dorky. It's like, wait, join us! No, join us! No, join us! Okay! Oh, well, sorry, knocked you unconscious. You know, we can't have them knowing where our base is. I'm sure we have one of those. That. By the way, if I just speed this up and do it normally, is that okay with you folks? Like, I know there's only like a dozen people or whatever that look at this, but you know, if this works, like if this format works, I might as well just stick with that. Just because it's a bit more convenient and takes literally half the time of the other one. So we'll see. All right, and yeah, let's do one of these. Make it all guaranteed like. Yeah, I'm hoping in the future there winds up being some method of making that maybe just more accurate instead of guaranteed. But what can you do? At the moment, those skills are entirely inseparable, so... Also, I probably should have used that first. But I didn't, because I decided to have it done. So, yeah. Alright, that should be that. He's gonna have his old rapey conversation with Kashra, and everybody's off to have a nice day. And I got yet another knight, though I really don't need another one of those. I think I'm pretty good on these, but we'll see what we can make her. Alright. What kind of job can we give you? Immedia. Yeah, let's make you a TK. Why not? What's your skill set looking like? Storms, Divine Rampart. Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and use none of this. Right. You are now a TK. Congratulations. You've been turned evil upon joining us. Give you a stick, because I don't feel like going back to the store. One of those. Not even getting a ring. There we go. Perfect. No problems. 10 out of 10. You're gonna stay as you are. At some point I'm gonna want a Beast Tamer. Let's see. Yeah. Alcolas we're not gonna have for a little while. You're the one I needed to remember. Zalia. Put that right there. Actually, what else can you learn? Anything good? Maybe Rampart or Bash. I want to say Bash is probably going to be the way to go, because I'm kind of building him as a pushback build anyway. Alright, there we go. And we'll deal with all the other ones later. So, thank you for stopping by, and see you next time. Take care.